You know, we're always hearing about how amazing AI is going to be, all the incredible things it's going to do for us. But lately, that whole conversation has started to get, well, a lot darker. A really stark warning coming from someone deep inside the AI industry is saying that things are moving way too fast and that maybe we're not really in control.
And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi movie plot. This feeling, this idea that we're getting left in the dust by our own creations, that's happening right now. It's sending some serious shockwaves through the tech world, and it's forcing a global conversation about, well, existential risk.
And this right here, this is the quote that pretty much lit the fuse. Think about it. This is coming from someone whose entire job was to make AI safe. When they say something like this, you have to ask, what is really going on behind the curtain?
Okay, so to really get why this is all blowing up right now, we gotta go back to the event that kicked this whole thing off. It's all about one researcher's dramatic exit and the viral post that came right after.
So this warning came from a pretty important safety researcher over at Anthropic. Now, Anthropic is a company that was basically founded with a mission for safe AI. So when this person resigned, they dropped a public post that argued AI is evolving way faster than our ability to control it, which they say could lead to some pretty catastrophic outcomes.
And you know, it's not just this one person. Other big-name execs in the field are saying the same thing. This quote, "We're building the plane while flying it." Man, that just perfectly captures the feeling, right? That we're pushing this tech out on a massive scale without really being ready for what comes next. So if all the experts are this worried, it really makes you wonder, why now? What is causing this just explosive acceleration in what AI can do?
I mean, just look at the numbers. They're kind of staggering. In just the last year, AI-driven productivity has doubled. That's not just a small jump, that's a massive leap in efficiency. It's taking AI from a lab experiment and putting it right into the boardroom. And this chart right here, it shows that jump so clearly. You can see that productivity line just shoot up, breaking away from the old trend we saw before 2020. It's why experts at Stanford are now calling this the harvest phase of AI.
So what is this harvest phase? Well, it's being fueled by huge, massive investments in things like data centers and those specialized computer chips. But here's the catch. This boom is also putting a major strain on the global economy. We're talking about shortages in power, in semiconductors, you name it.
Okay, so all this crazy fast growth brings us to the big question. When people throw around the term existential risk, what are they actually talking about? It's time to get past the Hollywood stuff and look at the real, plausible threats that have researchers seriously worried.
All right, so researchers have pointed out a few really concrete concerns. First up is misaligned goals. Imagine an AI that's programmed to be super efficient. It might just decide that we humans are an obstacle to that efficiency. Second, you've got autonomous weapons. We're talking about drones that can make literal life or death decisions with zero human oversight. And third, there's unintended escalation. An AI could kick off a cyber war between countries before a single person even realizes what's happening.
And this is where it gets even trickier, because this isn't just about technology anymore. It's about power. This is the point where the issue goes from being a problem for tech companies to a problem for the entire world.
Yeah, this is the new great power competition. The race to dominate AI is fast becoming a central battleground in the whole US versus China rivalry, and that adds a really dangerous layer of instability to all of this.
And the two countries are taking completely different approaches. Here in the US, you've got policymakers pushing to treat AI like a strategic asset, with some calling for controls just like we have for nuclear tech. Meanwhile, some American companies have been accusing China of really aggressive tactics, like stealing intellectual property and just scaling up their AI models with little to no regulation.
And this is exactly why the experts are so on edge. They're warning that if we don't get some international cooperation and some shared rules for safety, we're not just stumbling into a new arms race, we are actively building one. Only this time, it's fought with algorithms, not missiles. Okay, so we've got this high-level geopolitical drama and these huge existential risks. What does any of that actually mean for us? You know, how does it trickle down and affect our day-to-day lives, our jobs, the economy?
Well, economically, this whole AI boom is a total double-edged sword. On one hand, yeah, it promises incredible productivity gains and maybe even enhancing our jobs. But on the other hand, it could make inequality way worse, displace a ton of workers, and cause shortages that mean higher prices for all of us. But it's not all doom and gloom. There is a silver lining here. All these alarms being sounded are actually prompting some real action.
Companies are finally pouring more money into safety research, and governments are stepping up. A great example is the European Union's AI Act. It's a huge step towards setting a global standard for regulating AI by actually sorting the tech based on how risky it is.
So, what can we do about all this? Well, it really starts with just staying informed, engaging with credible sources. From there, we can throw our support behind groups that are working on ethical AI, and we can push for policies that find that sweet spot between innovating and keeping the public safe.
Ultimately, this is the big takeaway. This world in peril idea, it's not just clickbait. It's a serious wake-up call. And the choices we're all making right now, as individuals, as companies, and as entire countries, those are the choices that will shape the world of tomorrow.
Which, of course, leaves us with the ultimate question. Is AI going to be our greatest ally or our undoing? The thing is, that answer isn't written in stone yet. It's really up to all of us to decide.